The difference between knowing something and understanding something is application. You have to apply what it is you are learning for it to stick. So often students come to a test and they completely forgot what they have learned because they focused on looking over their notes, making flashcards, trying to memorize these rules or these theorems. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be good and successful at math, you have to apply it. One of the things that we have to apply is going to be the rules of exponents. In this video, what I'm going to do is work through those rules of exponents. And so what I want you to do is not to go ahead and just watch me do it. That's knowing what I am doing. You might know the rules. What I want you to do is apply what I am teaching. So feel free, once I show each and every one of these problems, to pause it, try to see if you can come up with the answer on your own. You might need a sheet of paper. You might not. You might be able to do this in your head. But either way, I want you to actually practice with me as I go over each and every one of these answers. And I will do a little bit of explanation, at least of what the rule is and what it is you need to remember. So let's go in on the first example. So I have an x squared times x to the 8th. This is going to be what we call the product rule. Remember guys, when you're multiplying exponents, you have to have the exact same base. In this case, we have both x's, and all we're simply going to do to multiply these two exponents, since they have the same base, is going to be adding the powers. So this is equal to an x of 2 plus 8, which is equal to x to the 10th power. Next example, we have x to the 4th divided by x to the 3rd. Again, this is going to be what we call the quotient property of exponents. When we are dividing two exponents with the same base, all we simply need to do is subtract the powers. So therefore, this can be rewritten as x to the 4th minus 3. Now 4 minus 3 is going to equal to a 1. So this is written as x to the first power, or we could just simplify that as just a regular x. The next one is what we call the next one is called the power rule. I was still thinking of product rule. Okay. This is going to be when we have an exponent raised to another power. You can see here we have y squared raised to the 5th power. When we have this situation, we are not adding them like we did in the product rule. We are actually going to multiply the two powers. So in this case, we have y squared, or y to the 2nd power, times a 5. And 2 times 5 is going to be a y to the 10th power. The next one is going to be what we call the power to product. You can see inside these parentheses, we have a product, a squared times b squared. Unfortunately though, the a and b are different bases. So therefore we cannot apply the product rule of exponents here, right? Some students might try, but we can't do that. Okay, so don't do that. But we have this product is being raised to a power, hence the name power to product rule. Now the way that this works is what we're simply going to do is rewrite this as an a squared to the 4th power times a b squared to the 4th power. We have to apply the power to each of these terms as long as they're separated by multiplication. Okay, so it's kind of like a little distributive property, a little bit to kind of think of it that way. But again, it has to be separated by a product. So I have a squared raised to the 4th power. Again, knowing the power rule, all we're simply going to do is multiply those. So that would be a to the 2 times 4. And this would be b to the 2 times 4. Did I do that? Yeah, I did the same. Okay. So therefore, that's going to be a to the 8th times a b to the 8th. The next one is going to be what we call the power to quotient rule. Again, because we have a quotient. That is not a 0. I just have a really bad way of writing my b's. So this is a cubed divided by quotient b squared, and that's raised to the 2nd power. Again, just like the power to product rule, ladies and gentlemen, we have to take our numerator raised to the 2nd power and our denominator raised to the 2nd power. Okay. Think about distributing to the top and bottom as long as they're separated by that quotient. So therefore, what we're going to have is a cubed to the 2nd power and a b squared to the 2nd power. Again, we cannot divide these by subtracting the powers because they have different bases, right? But we can simplify this here. Again, power rule, we're going to multiply the exponents. So that's going to be a to the 6th, and this is going to be a b to the 4th. Now let's get into negative exponents. Students love forgetting about negative exponents. So this is actually written as 3 divided by m to the 2nd power. So when you have an exponent with a negative power, all we simply need to do to make that positive is to go ahead and take that, or take the reciprocal of that. So therefore, if I write right now, you can see m is in the denominator, but it's raised to a negative power. So therefore, to make this a positive power, I'm simply just going to put the m in the numerator, right? You can think of this as all like over 1. So now from the denominator, put it in the numerator, and now I can make the power to go ahead and be positive. Next one is going to be the exact same rule. You can see here, now my m is in the numerator, but I have a negative power. So therefore, if I want to make it negative, or if I want to make it positive, I need to put this exponent in the denominator. Now, a confusing thing that will happen with a lot of students is they will sometimes like write it like this, p to the m to the n. And they're like, well, I don't know what happened to the numerator. The numerator's still there, right? There's just a 1 there. You could always think of like this is 1 times an m to the negative nth power. So when you put it in the denominator, just don't forget, right? This is a fraction. This is in the denominator. So we need to represent it in the denominator by making sure we have something in our numerator. And there's no better number than 1, right? Because 1 was there all along. And then our last example is a fraction raised to a negative power. We hate fractions and we hate negative numbers. What a great problem to combine them all. Now, the cool thing about this one is actually you could do this problem, think about this as the power to quotient rule, right? You could think about this as m to the negative first power over n to the negative first power, right? And then you could actually just flip them just like we did before. But another great way of just remembering when you have a fraction raised to a negative power, just reciprocate it. N over m. And there you go. You are done. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want some more examples to apply actually some of what we just learned in this video, some more difficult examples, then check out the next video I have for here. Or if you want some more resources to get better at your math, then check out the description I have for you down below.